Hey Colts Nation, welcome back to the third episode of Colts Caves. I have quite a long drive to make for the next Colts Cave, but before we head there, let's tailgate with the Blue Crew. That was a very fun tailgate with the Blue Crew over here in the parking lot, but for now I'm off to Bryan in Ohio to visit Maurice's Colts Cave, and he has quite a nice game day ritual as well. And there's Maurice. Hey, Maurice.
Hi, Lucas.
How's it going?
It's going great. How about the trip up here to Northwest Ohio?
It was a long trip, about 2 hours. So.
Well, that's the trip that we make when we go down to Indy to watch the Colts play.
Well, that's dedication. I'm going to step on in here because it's cold. So.
Yes, sir.
Well, a very impressive cave. Before we step into the rest of the cave, Maurice, can you talk to me about your game day ritual?
I am always up and on the road by 7 o'clock. I want to be down in Indy by 10 o'clock.
Because you live very far from Indy.
It's about 2.5, 2:40. So we get down there, we go into touchdown town, and then...
You go and visit your stone at the stadium?
Yes, we have a brick. And when Lucas Oil was being built, we had a stone that's just like that. I think we got to go and touch that. So we touch that, and then we go into the stadium, walk around the stadium once, and then watch the game. And then when we get done, we always come out in the Peyton Manning statue. We always hit the back of the heel of his, and it's just win or lose. We're always doing that. We're always doing it, and we continue it, and then that's usually it.
All sorts of blue, but I also see a little bit, and that's some cool Colts history you got in here. Some little bit of green and silver down here, which not many people know, but way back in the day, right after the Second World War, the Colts there were green and silver.
Yep.
You know all about that.
They had joined the AAFC as one of the teams there, but this was the kind of the material.
Sort of feels like a sweater.
It's wool, kind of. Can't imagine what that would be like when you were sweating and all that. That was the color. They then folded after that, and the Colts didn't come back until after they had the franchise. There was a franchise in Dallas and a franchise in Miami that also both in 1952 had decided that they had had enough, and so the Colts then had those players come in, and in 1953, that's how these Colts were started. And so I'll wear that sometimes to a Colts game, and people look at me like, what are you doing with green? Well, then I have to go through the whole, it's an actual throwback.
It is a Colts jersey.
It is.
Oh my goodness, this is like a lot of stuff here. Oh, this catches my eye. Tom Maddie, right?
He was one of my heroes again with Johnny Unitas with the Colts. The irony about that is he was a running back who eventually was the starting quarterback in the most important game back in those days of this 1965, which was a Western Conference playoff game. Exactly. An extra game that was added on because they had tied with the Packers.
They both had the same record during the regular season, so that's why they had that, yeah.
They ended up having to play the game off. He had an armband, and it's in the Hall of Fame, that had all the plays on it. And it was like the first time that had ever been done. Mm-hmm. And so he would flip to it, they would they would signal from the sideline, and he would look the number up, and that's how he called the plays.
The Colts did a lot of revolutionary things back then. That's how that arm wristband started, what you're talking about, because of that. But also, this game also forced some rule changes, right?
Yes.
Because nowadays you have the long goalposts.
There was a controversial field goal made by the Packers that when the video shows it not going over the uprights, it went a little bit left, but the left or right of the goalpost. But the goalpost poles were a lot shorter then. So after this, I think it was the next season or the season after, they
NFL changed the route.
They changed the goalposts, so now they're really high up. Now, my little story about that is, I'm going to tell you, the story was, that bugged me forever. And then I happened to go with a buddy of mine up to Green Bay to watch the Indianapolis Colts play a preseason game, and he was pretty good friends with Fuzzy Thurston, who was a Baltimore Colt, but then traded to the Packers. And we were in his establishment, and we were talking no closer from me to you. And he was with a guy by the name of Max McGee, who was a hero in the first Super Bowl. But anyway, I asked him, I said, okay, we're going to find out right now, because nobody can tell me, did he make it or didn't he? Fuzzy Thurston just shook his head and said, no.
Nope.
Max McGee slugged him in the rib and says, you don't know, you had your face down in the, because he was a lineman. So, I just got up and I said, I knew it.
What is the jersey all stories highs, right?
Yes, that tells me that whole thing, this is important to me, because he was my favorite running back at a time when, with Johnny Unitas and that, of course all the Colts were my favorites at that time.
That was a good visit with Maurice's Colts Cave, and now back to Indianapolis because we got one more cave to visit this episode. Stepping right into the man cave here, into the Colts Cave. And there he is, there's Sang.
Hey Lucas, welcome.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Whoa, quite an impressive case you have here. Well, we'll get right to it then, right?
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so one player I see quite a lot in here, Sang, is Anthony Richardson. A lot of signatures from him, but how did you get that?
I met him outside the stadium. One day, I'm the last one to leave there. And so I walk out on the street, and Anthony Richardson pulled his truck out.
Okay.
And, I wave at him, and he scrolled his window down and waved at me back. And, we thought, okay, that's done. He leave, and I'm go to my car, and I turn around. I saw he stop his truck in the middle of the street. I turn around and I say, oh, why he parked in the middle of the street? And here come about 5, 6 fans with, some kids.
Yeah.
And they run after his truck. And he stopped in the middle of the street, and he asked everyone jersey or whatever they want to sign, just throw it in his truck and signed for every one of them before he leave.
Wow.
That is so impressive. That's how much he appreciated fans and do things for fans.
So we have your great niece Alexander with you, and another player who stands out to you is Andrew Luck, because you all have a great story with him. What's that?
I take her go to the training camp. Andrew Luck came over, and she was little, so I have to hold her to, push her down before Andrew Luck can sign her jersey. She wearing the jersey, so he signed. After he signed, she turned around, she looking at him, and she crying. because Andrew Luck looked intimidating somehow. It make her cry, and that's the jersey that Andrew Luck signed.
Other than this cave, you have way more stuff.
Oh yeah, it's the whole house with Colts stuff on it. Just follow me, I show you.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow you. But we moved in here because your most valuable item is in this cave.
The Super Bowl ticket.
The Super Bowl ticket.
The Super Bowl 54 ticket. I was there when the Kansas City Chiefs played with the 49ers. How I got this ticket? I won this ticket on the contest.
From Ursay.
Mr. Ursay. He said, can you make it to the game tomorrow? And I was kind of scared.
Yeah.
Because I have to take off work. But I have to say yes. Because if don't, then...
It's a once in a lifetime, right?
So I make the flight. I go to Miami. I get to the hotel. I haven't checked in yet. And so here come P and Carly Ursay. They walk into the hotel. Hey, I stay the same hotel as them. I was like, yes. And I hope to see Mr. Ursay. I want to, face to face say thank you to him. But that never gonna happen.
It's like the Colts also took very well care of you, and that's what stands out for you the most.
Yes, it's not like, hey, you win a ticket, you're gonna meet somebody there, take the ticket and go on with your life. They don't do that. I mean, they take care of me from
A to Z.
How I get there and how what I need to do and all that stuff. I mean, I can't imagine that happened to me, and that's why this is very special.
All right, well, that was another episode of Colts Caves. Thanks for watching, and of course, I hope to stop by more Colts Caves in the future. So if there's any more out there, leave a comment, leave a video, leave pictures of your Colts Caves, and I hope to stop by at your Colts Cave one day.